This has been a long time coming. I got invited to my cousin's wedding a few months back, and I knew I wanted to make my own dress for the event that would challenge my sewing skills and take me to the next level. So I went online looking for inspiration, and I looked and looked and looked. And there it was, the inspiration dress of all inspiration dresses. A simple but clean design, a two-piece set I could re-wear in other ways, but at $300? I think I could make it for much cheaper. So now I had the dress design, and the next key piece was deciding on the material. Thankfully, a few months ago, I bought a $3 dress from the thrift store and had been looking for something to do with it. It's a deep, gorgeous red color, almost like raspberry, maybe cotton, but not sure, and has a lot of material to work with. Okay, let's get to it. I'm hoping to really level up my skills here. Armed with past mistakes as lessons learned and advice from comments on my previous videos, I hope to make this project turn out really nice and professional. We're going for clean lines and high quality look. All right, first step for this nice, fancy dress, I'm going to carefully measure exactly where to split this dress into two pieces. Oh my gosh, I cut it unevenly. Okay, maybe we'll lower the standards a little bit and just make sure it's cute and finish it on time. I'm going to get the skirt part moving forward since it's going to be much simpler. This set has a wrap skirt, so the plan is to cut open the skirt at the side hem, refinish the now open sides with new hems, add the waistband and a new closure. Should be easy. I did learn my lesson this time and used my iron to press the sides of the skirt before sewing up the hems, and it really made such a difference on how clean it turned out. So when I opened up the skirt, I thought I could use an extra piece of material from the length of the skirt to make up the waistband, but when I hold it up, it doesn't even reach all the way around my body, so that's not gonna work, but I think I have an idea. So if I switch from working on the skirt to start on the shirt now, I think I could pull off some extra pieces of fabric as I go and maybe piece that together to make the waistband long enough. I think I'm gonna go for it. On to the shirt! Starting with the straps, I think the best way to do it is to pull the strap fabric so it overlaps to become a thinner look at top, and then cut out a diamond or semicircle dart, more or less, that is gonna be parallel to the sides of the strap. I just want to point out this little win because I have never done this before, but I took my knowledge of fabric manipulation and darts and other strategies that I've seen and just kind of experimented with this idea, and it totally turned out the way I wanted it to. I'm pretty sure that's like the definition of learning, so pretty stoked. Next, I went ahead and opened up the back of the top to help balance out the changed shape of the neckline and to make sure I could get it on and off, and cut open the sides of the shirt. But now, as I try it on, I'm hesitant about the original inspiration photo shape. I'm still worried that I won't have enough fabric on this top to do the same boxy shape and have enough fabric for the little straps. So then, I think I'm gonna experiment with pulling the sides of the top down together towards my waist. This creates a cool V shape under my arm. The larger armhole shape gives me some space in the armpit area, so I don't have to worry about creating sweaty pit marks, a very real and true concern, and will also save me from having to create and attach the buttons and straps. It does depart from the inspiration photo, so won't look exactly the same at the end, but at least my piece will be more unique to my tastes and to my style. But now that I know what to do, I just really don't know what to do first. Do I do the dart first? Do I cut the excess fabric off first? I think those are my only options. Do I just sew it and then cut the extra fabric off after? But that would be messy. I think maybe dart first. I don't know. Because pulling in the fabric to create the dart changes the line that I'm going to go off of to finish the side of the shirt, I think that it's the first priority to create the structure of the top and then clean up the lines later. Okay, that was a bit of a challenge to create the darts. I was having to struggle to hold the dart together, pin it quickly on the right line, and try to keep the shirt on straight overall. I did end up having to redo one of the darts, and I still think it's a little offset, but it's not too noticeable, so I'm just gonna keep going. Okay, thankfully I made it through the dart stage. Took forever, but I'm so glad they worked out okay, and now I need a break. So I think I'm gonna shift over and work on making a cover-up to go with the set. Thankfully, I got this really cool long sleeve shirt secondhand from my friend Cassie. It has this super interesting meshy see-through pattern, and it's a deep reddish purple color that I think will go nicely with the dress. And I want to see if I can exaggerate the size of the cuffs to flare out a bit more so that they are more flowy and match with the feel of the skirt a bit. I think it'll make the outfit look more cohesive that way. So basically the plan is to just open it up down the middle, crop the bottom of the shirt, and use the excess fabric to expand the sleeves into more of a bell sleeve look. Creating the open tie up front went pretty smoothly, and although the back is a bit uneven, the hardest part was on the sleeves. So with the leftovers from the bottom of the shirt, I wanted to be mindful of how to add more fabric to the sleeves and also keep the pattern consistent. I determined it would be best to cut out triangles, isosceles to be exact, from the fabric, with the small end going towards the elbow and the base aligning with the wrist hem. The triangles I cut out were about 6 to 7 inches long with seam allowance, and I definitely thought they would be enough. So I hemmed the bottoms and sewed right sides together on both edges, and was really excited for the final product. But when I finally added them in and tried it on, it didn't really create the puffy, bell-shaped sleeve that I wanted. Despite the brief moment of disappointment, I was still really excited by the cover-up. I could totally see myself wearing this as is, or with other outfits. And this practice was a helpful reminder that to make these big, bold, dramatic statement pieces with fabric, you need a lot more than you think. Okay, getting back to the red set now. To finish off the top, I have to attach the front and back of the shirt together on the sides, and then clean up the edges. It feels a little nerve-wracking because there's not much material here to work with, and I still need enough to lengthen the waistband. When I try to pin the shirt, I'm having the same issue I had with the darts, that trying to pin the shirt together while it's on makes it hard to keep the pin line straight and trust where I need to sew it together. But since I'm short on time, I think I just need to go for it. So it took quite a few tries to pin it exactly where I wanted it to be, and I ended up using some of the fabric I cut off from the side to add an extra finished edge since I somewhat cut it too short on the sides. Also, I'm realizing now that I definitely forgot to keep ironing as I went through each of the hems, and I haven't been pinning the way others recommended me to. I usually go parallel, and people recommended going perpendicular to the edge of the fabric to hold it steady. I guess I'll do that next time. But I think we can call this top done! Success! Now to finally get back to the skirt, where I thought that I was having issues, but I just made a discovery. Here's the waistband piece, and it was already a little too short to wrap all the way around me, but as I was seam ripping the bottom hem open, I realized there's about 1 to 2 inches of fabric rolled up in here, so it might be just long enough. With the length of the waistband figured out, I now have to determine a solution for the uneven height of the strip. Since it gets so skinny here, I can cut off this extra piece of fabric and attach it back here to make it one long, even piece. Just a little bit of Frankensteining, interfacing, and sewing, and we have a waistband on this bad boy. All right, the last major aspect of finishing this skirt is to do something to make sure I have enough coverage underneath. I did not think about how much material I would need for the overlap of this wrap skirt when I decided to cut off that strip for the waistband. So as I was looking at the skirt, I realized that there are these darts present that actually can be opened up, and it added about 3 to 4 inches of material, exactly what I needed. So I quickly finished off the top edge with a zigzag stitch so that it wouldn't fray, and I'll have to pin it later on for the event so that it stays together, but I think we're ready to call this project done. One flight to California later. Oh my goodness, I am so happy to be finished. This 2-piece set has taught me 2 major lessons. Number 1, changing a design takes material. There needs to be enough for seam allowance and mistakes to happen or else you'll be left puzzle piecing it all together. And number 2, right-sizing your expectations will make the process more enjoyable. Knowing my time crunch and the new skills I was trying out for this project made me reevaluate the definition of success that I was shooting for. It doesn't have the same high quality, clean line look, but it definitely has a lot of character, and I think it does fit in well with my style. And learning those things made it feel like a true celebration by the end of it. Congrats, Emily and Kyle, for a happy marriage.